Greetings, YouTube. I used to own a snake, a Burmese python. I had a buddy and I made a cage for him, nice big roomy cage out of plywood. We sealed it, nice big glass panel in the front. And he had lots of space in there, heated rock, lamp, the whole 9 yards. And in the warmer weather, I would come home from work and I would grab a shower, then I'd pick him up, and I'd wrap him around my neck, and I'd go out and take a walk in the neighborhood because he liked the natural sunlight. I always felt the natural sunlight was better for him than the full spectrum bulb in his cage. And the kids in the neighborhood loved him, thought he was cool. Parents were always terrified. Kids thought he was cool. Parents were terrified. I used to tell people all the time, I said, "Ma'am, he's wrapped around my neck. He's not going to hurt me." And I was correct. The only time he ever hurt me was my own stupidity. So I don't blame the snake for that. But as a responsible pet owner, there are things you have to do when you own cats. You live with cats. I've got cats. You've got to do things like feed them, give them water, clean the bowls, make sure they're clean. You got to make sure that their litter box is changed regularly. If they get ill, you take them to a vet, things like that. So there are actions you have to take as a responsible pet owner. And there are things you don't do. For example, there have been people in Florida that released their Burmese pythons into the wild. And now there are Burmese pythons in Florida, a non-indigenous species, which is causing some severe problems to the ecosystem of the state of Florida. And I'm sure that there are places that those snakes are going to spread to in the future, particularly if the climate change causes any kind of increase in temperature in those areas. Burmese pythons are hardy animals. Well, there was recently a case where the state of Tennessee confiscated 50 poisonous snakes, rattlesnakes, copperheads, and some non-indigenous species. And they confiscated them from a church. This is, of course, a church of snake handlers. Now, some people may find it weird that there's a church that handles poisonous snakes. Now, the reasoning behind this is that if they have faith, they believe that God will protect them. The Christian God, I should point out. And they base this belief off of a passage. It's called Mark 16:18, and I'm going to read this passage to you in its entirety so you can have the context of the reasoning behind this. "And these signs will accompany those who believe. By using my name they will cast out demons. They will speak in new tongues. They will pick up snakes in their hands. And if they drink any deadly thing, it will not hurt them. And they will lay their hands on the sick, and they will recover." So, that's it. That's the entirety of the statement. And based on that one line, not even a full line, these people have decided that they need to possess deadly animals, which are class 1, so they are inherently deadly to humans, and keep them around as aspects of their religious expression. Except it really isn't religious expression here. It's bad pet ownership. And some of these species shouldn't be here at all, because you don't want non-indigenous venomous snakes, even more than you don't want non-indigenous non-venomous snakes in the United States. As an aside, some people may not know this, but about 80% of all snakes are non-venomous. Only about 20% of snakes are venomous. Just so you know that. And yes, all snakes are carnivores. So snake handling seems to be a little strange. Now, the concept doesn't bother me. It's the practice thereof, the practical application of that particular behavior, which is dangerous. So I do not think that you are squashing religious expression by saying that there is a good secular reason for not wanting there to be a large collection of deadly animals in one place, some of which are non-indigenous. I think that's a legitimate gripe. And I think that you can say, okay, we are not squashing your freedom of expression. We are not attempting to establish a religion. We are simply saying that as your religious expression, you may not use this deadly thing in the United States, specifically in the state of Tennessee. So I don't think that there is any religious limitation going on here. There is, however, a graphic with the article I'll be linking to from Fred Clark's page, This Activist. It shows a woman holding a sign that says, "Snakes today, Bibles tomorrow?" ? No. They are not confiscating your snakes because it's a religious expression. They are confiscating your snakes because they are deadly and dangerous to humans. Your book is only deadly to you if you choose to interpret it in really strange ways. So I don't think this is a bad thing, getting these snakes out of the public sphere and putting them into the hands of experts who can handle them properly and maybe find a use for them. Anti-venom antitoxin chemicals from snakes are very difficult to acquire, and maybe some good will come out of these. And the non-native species will unfortunately probably have to be destroyed. I'm not really sure what happens to animals like this or what condition they're in. I have no idea if these people have taken care of the animals properly. But I don't see this at all as an infringement upon religious expression. I see this as a smart and well-reasoned decision of the state of Tennessee to protect human life. Because you don't need snakes to believe in your God. All you need is to believe in your God. And no one can take that away from you. Not ever. So I'm glad these snakes are no longer around. And I hope that these people will realize there's a difference between the state's desire to protect the public health and the state's actions in this case. One is smart, and it is not, and the other is not an infringement of your religious beliefs. But then again, I'm not looking for a persecution complex.